The BS Report is a free-flowing conversation that occasionally touches on mature subjects.
First of all,
this is the BS Report with Bill Simmons.
It might be cool, I don't know. And if it's not, I don't care.
The BS Report with Bill Simmons.
Bill Simmons works for ESPN. He's also named the sports guy, and he writes a comical sports column. He must be a popular dude.
The BS Report.
It's got a real dirty sound, like a rusty steak knife cutting through a well-aged steak.
Now.
Here's Bill Simmons.
Welcome to the BS Report. We're recording this the week of September 25th, but on September 29th, The Ruins returns to MTV. I have long been pushing for this to be the fourth professional sport, replacing hockey. Or actually, we could replace baseball. I'd rather keep hockey and get rid of baseball.
Yeah, I like
at this
hockey.
point. Baseball's long and appeals to old people. I'm here with Joe House, who's in the house, literally in the house.
It's a pleasure to be here.
We're making history. We haven't been at headphones looking at each other since Holy Cross.
I'm disappointed that I'm not on the Subway Fresh Take hotline.
You can be. In fact, let's say you're on it. You're on the Subway Fresh Take Home hotline.
Well, I was going to offer to make up for it by eating, one of my specials.
Yeah, okay, we'll do that. Okay. I will treat you to a Subway this weekend.
All right, thank you.
On the real Subway Fresh Take hotline, the czar of reality TV, Mr. Dave Jacoby. What's happening?
Hello, gentlemen.
Three-man pod.
It's an honor.
I'm into it.
Well, Czar, before we get to The Ruins and the debut of America's real favorite fourth professional sport, let's talk about the real World Cancun. It ended last week. And certainly one of the more tumultuous seasons featured a dramatic twist at the end where we had Joey, the pierced sexual deviant maniac who had a big blowout with Aya, who set a record for having 5 vowels in her 6-letter name. And he had made her cry a bunch of times and made cutting jokes about her. Ended up having sex with her in the last episode.
Yep.
Redefining the term hate sex.
Yep.
Did you see that one coming?
There was rumors of equipment problems during this escapade, but there was certainly nudity and something happened underneath the traditional real-world blanket.
Yeah, in the reunion show, they hinted at some sort of issue. It's weird. This is really because this also happened in The Bachelorette, where Ed couldn't rise to the occasion, so to speak.
Yes.
And now we have more equipment problems. This could be the year of reality equipment problems.
Aya also admitted her little dalliance to her boyfriend like minutes afterwards too. I think that might have been.
She was texting him with her legs. She was texting him with her legs in the air, telling him about it, confessing. Yeah, I think she set the benchmark for most promiscuous roommate in the history of the show.
No, come
Why?
on.
Who would you put ahead of her?
I don't know, the girl from Chicago.
Yeah, but that girl was like Will Chamberlain. Like she was putting up a lot of points, but it was more the era. Now you talk about in this era, this girl was still promiscuous. That's a pretty strong thing, right?
What about
Jacoby?
the girl from Colorado? Jen.
Oh,
2N
Jen with 2 N's.
Yeah.
2N Jen.
I mean,
2N Jen. Yeah. What do you think, Jacoby?
I think one of the best things that came out of this season was there was a lot of drama, there's a lot of hooking up, and then, of course, they have the stuff they should have shown, which is probably the best titled television show on any network.
Yes.
Because it is what they should have shown. And they went through, and they made it look like during the season, they're like, oh, yeah, we made it look like Joey was the only one hooking up, but here, let's run this package. And then you realize that everybody was hooking up with everybody all the time.
All the time. Every day.
Yeah, like every one of them had like 4 or 5 different boyfriends or girlfriends, sometimes both.
Yeah. And booty call guys and booty call girls and all kinds of stuff. Basically, everyone on that show was on the go team. Except for the gay guy.
Aya has broke the record for sleeping with the most of your fellow castmates during a season.
Yeah, or being indirectly involved in one of their hookups. Or she had her hands in a lot of stuff.
Yes.
You know what was interesting to me is this girl, Jeanne, who kind of grew on me looks-wise as the show went along.
Oh, that's an ongoing debate.
Yeah, it's like she's a little doughy, but not really. But then she looked good, and then with makeup, she looks great. And she's she's got some.
She's a hairstylist with bad hair.
Yeah, there's a lot going on, good and bad. But she seemed to have like some sort of basic instinct, Sharon Stone type hold on whoever crossed her path. Like people were ready to kill for her.
That's true.
It was weird.
She was the Death Star.
People
she got in the
falling in love
tractor
with her. Yeah, left and right. People falling in love. I don't know. What did she have, Jacoby?
I avoided that Death Star. That didn't pull me in.
Well, but here's what I'm thinking, because as you know, Jacoby is the one who really came out and said this. This is a feeder system for the real show that we care about, the Real Road Road Rules Challenge.
That's exactly right.
And if Jeanne has this sort of romantic pull over really whoever crosses her paths, what is she capable of in a house of 18 people? She's bisexual. Bisexual, and people just act irrationally in love with her. It's going to be exciting.
McShay and Kuiper are both split on where she's going to go in the draft, though, for the upcoming season.
Well, one last real world thing, and then we'll move on. The gay guy. They almost every year they have a token gay guy. This year's name was Derek. Hands down, the greatest gay guy they've ever had on the show, in my opinion. Would you agree? Has there been a better gay roommate?
Please don't disrespect the Pedro.
The late Pedro Zamora.
That's right.
Yeah, but you know the reality is he was a terrible character for the show. He's too serious. And, I mean, this guy was like he was the wingman. He was out every night. He was getting in fights. He was like egging guys on to fight. He was fantastic. Hey, I would put him in the great gay or straight roommate pantheon.
That's interesting.
Put him in top 10.
I still have a soft spot in my heart for Karamo.
For the Philly season.
Yeah, well, I didn't see it coming.
Well, Tyler had always been my favorite gay castmate.
Tyler was terrific.
Because he was really an agitator. And then he kind of had his knees cut out a little bit on the duel. He was exposed as maybe being a little more talk than action.
Right. A little over-anxious,
that'll
too.
happen. That's what happens when you make the leap to the challenge.
Which is a great segue for us. So, the Ruins. It's going to be in Thailand, which is great because, these people don't have enough chances to get disease. Now they're going to be in Thailand. Opens up. What kind of shots do you think the Real World castmates get for the challenge? They have to get like 40 different things.
For the vaccines.
Yeah. They probably have to actually give the people in Thailand vaccines because the challenge people are coming. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a fantasy draft of the show. Now, Jacoby, you have figured out this scoring system.
Yes, this scoring system. Once upon a time, I believe it was around 2004, they had a fantasy scoring system for the challenge, and I don't know why that ever went away. But shout out to Katie Gorman, who turned me on to the fantasy game.
Yep.
We've created our own categories.
Okay.
And essentially, I won't bore our three listeners with all the details, but you draft a player, you get points if that player cries, fights, TJ say they killed it, they hook up with somebody, they end up nude, they pass out drunk, you get points. Ooh. You get deducted points if they get arrested, if they disqualify their team in a challenge. Also, if they mention their family or friends back home, you get deducted points.
Ooh.
If they vomit, you get deducted points. Or if they mention their modeling or acting career. So there's a lot of opportunity to score points. If you have a threesome, 25 points right there.
25 points for a threesome?
Oh, yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, and 25 points for fighting. And if TJ says you killed it, that's 25 points.
Now, TJ was very, very, very cautious about throwing out the you killed it last year. It was almost like he knew it would become a thing.
Wind.
Yeah, well, he felt like maybe it was becoming too famous of a catchphrase or something, so he wanted to limit it. And I liked it. It had maximum impact when he did it.
This is his 9th challenge.
Yeah.
That's a long string of mediocrity.
Well, House was saying that the irony of the show is that the host, probably his net worth is 20 times everybody combined in the challenge, would you say?
Yeah.
Everybody combined, yeah. Easily.
You got to figure he's worth between $5 to $10 million on the shy side.
And the 18 castmates combined are worth $250,000?
Depending on how much they hit the hosting circuit over the off season.
Yeah, I mean, the only one that obviously I can look at this list and say has a job where they made over $100,000 last year is Wes, and the $100,000 was the money he won on the previous challenge.
Yeah, and the best part is we've now reached a point with some of these people where they're originally the rookies and the young guns, and I'm not going to be doing these challenges like so-and-so when I'm 30. And now they're all doing the challenges when they're 30.
Yeah.
at least 6, 7 of them I can see. Just looking at this, like Kenny.
You look at Veronica. You know Veronica has said at least 60 or 70 times that she'll never do this again. And she's been missing for a few seasons. And here she is.
Before we get to the draft, I'm going to ask my question that I ask before every Real World season. These people are willing to humiliate themselves in the show and carry on and make spectacles of themselves for really not a lot of money unless they win. Why haven't 5 of them gotten together and done a sex tape?
It remains the great unanswered question.
Jacoby?
I'm speechless. I'm going to go with, I don't think they're smart enough to figure that out.
Well, I mean, but Jenna from Survivor did it. She figured it out. She wasn't a brain surgeon.
Now, Tanya, in her defense, has come the closest.
Yeah, she was in some erotic thriller, some simulated sex by her.
Yes.
Yeah,
disturbing.
I'm so glad that she's back.
A little disturbing. I can either confirm or deny that I've seen it 10 times. But, yeah, I just feel like, there's more money out there. I'll put it that way for some of these people.
There's other ways to capitalize on their quote-unquote fame than showing up at the local bar in Gainesville, Florida, and getting paid $5,000 and getting a bottle of Grey Goose.
Because if you're Veronica, I mean, really, you've humiliated yourself in every way possible on the show, and you've exposed yourself as somebody who's not opposed to sexual contact, to say the least. So I think if you reached a point in life where you're involved in a sex tape and nobody is surprised by it, just do the sex tape.
Yeah,
That's my advice for everybody.
I think Kara went Playboy. One of them went Playboy.
Oh, yeah.
Was funny for a while.
Well, there was a Girls of Real World Playboy spread. Veronica was in.
Really?
You remember that? The girl from Miami was in it. Veronica was in it.
Oh, the Melissa from Miami.
Yeah, I think
may
it was.
Or may not have seen that.
You know what's frightening is I can remember more about the people in the Real World shows and the duels than people I went to college with. I probably know what's going on with 15 people I went to college with and 50 MTV people.
Well, I guarantee you I could name more people from these shows than any of my good friends' kids.
Yeah, that's embarrassing, too. Quickly, before the draft, we're going to run down the castmates, and I'll let you guys comment when necessary. So the females, Evelyn, who's always the heavy favorite.
Evie.
Yeah, what do you think, Jacoby?
Greatest of all time.
Really?
There's not a woman that's even in her stratosphere as far as giving her any competition. If she loses, it's because she lost, not because someone else beat her.
No, not even ever a rival, really, this entire decade. Unrivaled.
Never.
I mean, I would have thought that Ruthie would have been somebody that could have been in that, but it
didn't have the size.
Didn't have the size.
It's hard size. Yeah, it's a size thing.
That's right.
Ruthie's 55 pounds.
Ibis, really one of the more attractive people who's ever been on any of these shows.
That's in your opinion.
Yeah, you're not down with that?
No, I'm just making it clear. That's your opinion.
Why don't you like Ibis?
Ibis.
Ibis.
And
the czar. Spelling correction or pronunciation correction.
She just doesn't make a splash. You know, she's just never like. I can't think of a moment in EB's history that stands out.
What about the part where she likes to wear bathing suits? That part's good.
Find another cast member that doesn't.
Yeah, Katie, who's really been the Ron Artest of the challenge over the years. lot of suspensions and fines and YouTube clips and debauchery and.
That's kind of a disservice to Ron Artest.
Yeah, it really is.
She's not even nearly. She doesn't bring even half the things to the table that Ron brings.
Yeah.
What is she like? Is she the Ricky Davis? I mean, who's a lesser talent agitator?
But you'd probably have to go back to the 70s.
That's right.
Back when there was more cocaine use in the league and stuff.
It's like a lamb beer.
Yeah, it's a tough one. Who's been the most? Chris Anderson, maybe the Birdman, Chris Anderson, but even he got it together. I don't know. Well, she has no comparison.
Yeah.
Incomparable.
Johanna, who from the Real World Austin season, who ended up involved with Wes, and they broke up, and she basically had no problem throwing it around. I'll put it that way.
No, and she's now involved with Kenny.
And Wes isn't a fan, as they've hinted in the previous. Susie, manipulative, pretends not to be not one of my favorites.
There's a couple people on here where I look at them and I say, I try and get in their shoes and come up with, the thought process that leads to, yeah, I'll go do that. I mean, she has no chance of winning.
Yeah, Susie, you mean? Yeah. Well, they just want to be on TV.
Right? She seems miserable the whole time. She complains the whole time.
I guess the appearance fee is worth it for her.
Well, one of your goals since the last time we did a dual podcast was, Jacoby, for you to figure out exactly how much they make to be just on the show.
Yeah, and I don't understand why someone doesn't just get themselves voted in and throw the first challenge and have a 4-day vacation and get paid the $10,000 that the appearance fee is.
Isn't that kind of what CT did last year, though?
Yeah, I mean that's a $10,000 punch right there.
Yeah, that was good. He still got to collect.
Got flown out to New Zealand, got paid $10,000 to punch a guy in the head.
All right, so the rest of the girls, Tanya, who
Tonya, but whatever.
Tonya, Jesus, you're killing me.
Cesar.
No, it's Tanya. Tanya. Embattled, I'd use for her as a verb, as an adjective.
She's a true veteran.
A veteran in every sense.
A lot of senses.
A veteran in a lot of different ways. Same for Veronica.
True veteran.
Yeah. Who was involved in one of my favorite single altercations ever when she got in the fight with Katie. And Katie just started killing her skin. It was like 5 years ago. Remember that?
Oh, my.
She said, made fun of her pock marks and go wash your face, go wash your zits. It was like all these mean skin comments.
I was positive that your favorite altercation was going to be the threesome.
That's what I was about to say, too. One of my favorite moments is that she gave, I believe it was Ava, like a goodbye threesome.
She did.
That wasn't an altercation, though. That was a sexual encounter. It's a little different.
Yeah, but it was just the same way that you'd give a buddy like a T-shirt. Like, oh, you're leaving? No, here, let me give you something to remember this by.
Well, that's about as much as it meant to her. Giving a T-shirt versus giving Abe whatever. All right, so then we have Brianna from Real Road Hollywood, not a fan. Casey, the girl who was tied with Wes that first one, that fresh meat thing, and then came back that one year with the big implants. Yeah. Bold move. Remember that?
Yeah. Also, did a lot of nudity last time she was on a challenge.
Yeah, kind of at a coming out party.
Yeah.
I'll have my eyes on her.
I'm a fan of Casey.
Me too.
Diem, probably my least favorite, male or female on this show.
I agree.
Really terrible.
Yeah.
Anyone who could fall in love with CT is somebody that I can't have on a television screen.
Diem the
It was too early to say that when she was just battling the cancer thing, but now that's in her past. I think it's fair. It's not too soon anymore. Like, I just don't really like this woman. Don't like it when she opens her mouth.
Yeah. Kellyanne, from Australia. That doesn't do much for me. Kimberly from Hollywood, who kind of seems like she's sneaky attractive. Like, she's always up to stuff and hooking up with guys, but TV never really translates.
Yeah.
Sarah.
I wouldn't breeze over Kellyanne so fast, in my opinion. But that's just the czar talking.
All right, Czar. So you like Kellyanne?
Yes, I do.
Sarah.
Sweet Southern Texas girl. On the audition to get on The Real World, she was showing her butt.
Yeah, but I don't like the teases on this show. I like the people like Veronica who they don't tease. They just put it out.
Siobhan's next.
Yeah, well, there's Siobhan.
my only problem with Kellyanne is she has crazy eyes.
Yeah, she does have the crazy eyes.
She has a wandering eye.
Siobhan, who capped off her brief appearance on the last show by having sex with CT on a roof.
On a roof.
Siobhan, on a roof. I don't know anybody who's hooked up on a roof. Yeah, that was pretty good. Get away from the cameras. I like the ingenuity there. We need to have sex and we need to go up here because this is where the cameras aren't.
It's either up there or underground.
Yeah, or we have to dig a hole.
Yeah.
And then I forgot about Sarah, the hairdresser from, I think, Real Road Brooklyn.
Yes.
The tattooed hairdresser. Not a fan. And then that's it for the girls. Now, for the guys, we have Daryl, who House was reading his bio. It said he's undefeated in the challenge. Is that true, Czar?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I trust the bio, but he certainly hasn't. He's not as active as some of the other people. So it's like in a boxer that's got undefeated at 3-0.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. How many has he been in?
Derek's been really the Susan Lucci of the challenge.
Always a bridesmaid.
Came close many times. One of my favorites. Actually, somebody I'd probably hang out with. I really like him. Not that I'd actually hang out with him.
He's evolved over the course of the years.
Yeah.
I've seen him grow over the past 7 years.
Evan, who, along with Kenny, I think has emerged as the two villains of this show. Would you agree?
He's a master strategist.
He is.
Yeah. He's somebody high on the draft board, too.
Jacoby and I have talked about this. Evan watched the show, studied it, tried to get on, got on. really like unprecedented. There's no other sports equivalent of somebody actually studying a show for 10 years and then inserting himself into the action. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It would be like if I became the star of Rocky VI. If I wrote the Rocky VI screenplay and I'm like, hey, Sly, what if I'm your son and I'll fight? And then suddenly I'm the star of Rocky VI. Same thing with Evans, as far as I'm concerned. Johnny Bananas, Cyrus from Boston, Wes from Austin. The guys are just more compelling than the girls. A lot of alpha dog personalities. It's great.
Yeah.
Adam, Lionel Richie's, what was he? Lionel Richie's son? Somebody's son. Smokey Robinson's son?
He's in I think he's in the Lionel Richie bloodline.
He's some singer's son.
I'm pretty sure it's Lionel Richie.
I would think him related to Nicole Richie.
I think they're like half siblings. Brad, who the last time he was on, he was engaged, and it was the last challenge. He was going to get a job, and now he's back. It's always fun when that happens.
I suspect they saw the Spelling Bee episode. It's my theory. Speaking of which, if there is not a repeat of the Spelling Bee.
Yeah. If there's one thing we hope happens, it's that. Kahutta, probably my favorite personality in the show than Derek. Like him, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would hang out with Kahada.
Me too.
Good guy.
For sure.
Is he's your second man crush behind Isaac, right? Czar?
Yeah, I mean, that might change this season.
A rookie, Chet, from Brooklyn. What do you see with Chet this year, Czar?
I don't see him lasting. He's not going to be high on my draft board. Let's just say that.
He could be fun, though, for like an episode or two. Danny from Boston. Nobody likes him. Dunbar, who one of these times is going to commit a really, really bad crime during these shows. Do you think?
Yeah, and it's not clear whether it'll be... Am I allowed to say this?
Probably not. If you're asking to know. The difference in him and CT is with CT, you know it's going to happen, but with Dunbar, it's more of a silent explosion when it happens. It's going to be like 9 bodies found the next morning. And a chainsaw.
Or 9 rear ends.
And then finally, Nick. I have no idea where Nick's from or what show he was on. Is Nick an extra? Like, where did he come from? Nick?
The czar doesn't even know.
Was he
Real
from
World Hollywood?
Did he
Real
come into
World
Hollywood after
yes.
Joey got kicked
after
out?
Joey and Greg departed.
Oh, there it is. That's what it was. This is my goodbye letter to drugs. All right. So we're gonna have a Ruins draft. Now,
Yeah.
before we do this, I just want to throw this out. Do we just want to make this a lot simpler, and you get a point for every week each of your guys goes, and then get to the final episode, 3 points, 6 points, 12 points for the winner, 6 points for second, 3 points for third place if you have a person. Do you want to do it simple, or do you want to do it complicated?
I feel like
Simple's always the way to go.
Yeah, Jacoby put all the time in to come up with a scoring sheet, and on the
But
one,
who's going to keep track of that?
Well,
We'd have
that's
to
it.
get Katie Gorman.
That's right.
Would Katie Gorman keep track?
I believe so.
All right,
She will
she'd do
keep
that.
track.
She's
I know
a
her.
longtime BS Report fan and a
Yeah.
New England native.
Yeah.
And she appreciated that I plugged Rhode Island last week. All right, so Katie Gorman's in charge of keeping track.
Thank you, Katie.
Yes, thank you, Katie.
Now, refresh my memory on one thing. Is there one male and one female winner, and that's it?
Ooh, I don't know. I think there
It
might be a
tends
new
to
rule.
change. Yeah, that's the problem is, at least I'll confess, I didn't look up the way the prize is structured, and it has changed over seasons. Sometimes they share it. Sometimes it's a male and a female that get the grand prize.
But I think we're all sort of drafting not knowing.
Okay, well,
That's true.
I'm going to take Evelyn with my first pick.
Oh, I forgot you're first. I'm second.
That's right.
You're second. Evelyn off the board. Welcome to Team Simmons.
I got to take notes here.
That's pretty good, huh?
That was good.
That's a strong pick.
You prepared.
Oh, listen, that's like taking the Yankees in a World Series draft or something. You're not going to go
All right.
wrong with Evelyn.
Second pick,
Yep.
Wes. Welcome to Team Jacoby.
Wow. You're not scared
yeah.
by the promos. That made it seem like you got kicked out.
Well, you get kicked out. That's 25 points for fighting.
That's pretty good.
It's a good strategy.
I like it.
There you go.
All right, how snake fashion you
Oh,
got two.
I got a back-to-backer.
This is nice. I hope you don't take as long in this as you do in real life with fantasy drafts.
I'm I did ask how much time we have between picks before we started.
Joe Mead right now is like one of the passengers in an airplane. He's pouring gasoline on himself, making a noose.
I'm going with Evan and Kenny.
Oh, the combo.
Yep.
I like it. That's almost like having like the hookup, like taking Tony Romo and Roy Williams.
That's right. That's I handcuff.
Handcuffing.
Kenny's my handcuff.
Yeah.
Plus, we've seen him on his knees looking like he got punched out. So
yeah, that's good. Do you get points if you get punched out?
Yeah,
that's right.
Involved in a fight.
Yeah,
involved
that's
in a fight.
That's smart. Okay. All right, Czar.
Oh, it's back to me.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about team chemistry here.
Yeah.
And I like having Kellyanne on the team.
You just like Kellyanne.
Wes is my star player. I need to keep him happy. So I'm really thinking about Clubhouse here.
All right.
With my second pick.
Sounds like you're throwing it out to the nation that now that you're engaged, Kellyanne's the one who could potentially stop this and make you reconsider if she makes a run between now and the marriage.
No.
No? Okay.
He's committed.
So.
It's a platonic love.
It won't be crazy as Kellyanne.
House brought up the weird eye thing.
The eyes are a little weird.
Yeah.
I don't watch the crazy eyes. All right, so I can't believe he's still on the board, but I'm going to take Daryl because it really looks like he might have punched out somebody in that preview, and I need him on my team because that 25 points. And then, is Wes gone? Wes is gone.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But Brad's not gone. Although, it's something depressing about having Brad on the team. I'm going to take Johnny Bananas.
Oh, I like it.
From
left field.
I already wrote down Johnny as being on my team.
Wow.
Great pick.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you. Even in MTV fantasy drafts, I dominate.
Oh, that crushed me.
Now, I'm going to make this next pick.
Whoa, champ.
Yeah, you're third.
Oh.
I'm going with Derek.
Oh, that's good.
Good. Susan
Good for
Lucci.
something.
Yeah.
He'll
Nice
cry or pass out drunk. There's a lot of things he could do. Dress and drag. He could do a lot of things that score points.
All right, 2 for House.
I like the way that sounds. Are we talking about sandwiches?
Hold on, I'm going to take a brief intermission. I picked up House at the airport, and we went to Uncle Bill's Pancake House in Manhattan Beach. House got an everything omelet that had literally everything, including meat sauce on it,
Delicious.
along with hash browns. He had a side of bacon, and it also came with 2 banana pancakes, which he proceeded to eat that entire thing and then eat some of my pancakes and some of the corned beef hash that I ordered.
And a little bit of your omelet. I just wanted to taste. Jack cheese and green chili omelet. You can't get that in the East Coast. That was nice.
Did they try to seat you at a table for 2, and you're like, no, we need a table for 4. We had a lot of plates here.
I took a cell phone picture of it. I might have to put it on Twitter. There was like 7 plates on our table. It was fantastic.
It was delicious.
Joe House for 2.
So the pick, the one that's going to come from my heart, even though I imagine he won't last very long, is Dunbar. And I'm going to propose that if there's a sex crime on the show, that there's got to be some special recognition in the point system for that.
Let's add that to
Czar, could that be in?
I'm adding it to the list right now for 100 points.
Thank you. So Dunbar is my one, and then because we spent a lot of time on her, I'm going to go ahead and go with Ibis.
Oh, she might be the second strongest girl for all we know.
That's where I'm coming from.
All right.
Back to Jacoby.
I'm really about team chemistry, and it's not about having the best players; it's about having the best team. And this guy keeps every locker room happy. He's a big clubhouse guy, as they like to say. Going with Kahutta.
Wow, interesting.
And I really think the Kahutta West Kellyanne love triangle is going to add enough tension to keep everybody motivated.
I like it. Well, with my next pick, I'm taking somebody who's proven to throw herself around, which I need. Pretty good athlete, underrated. Not afraid to get in her share of arguments. A potential with Dunbar to have some sort of sleeping bag crime. You never know. Johanna.
Oh, Johanna.
Welcome to my team. And then for the other pick, God, Brad's still sitting there looking at me. I'm going to have to take him.
Which word couldn't he spell?
There's about 4 of them.
Bright?
Yeah, there's about 4 of them. Yeah, that was not good. To say you're unemployed and then go on a show and not be able to spell 6-letter words, not good. All right, back to you, Jacoby.
All right. I think there's a lot of opportunity in the female side of things here. I'm going with Katie. I think Katie can do a lot of things. She could win the whole thing. She could get kicked out in the first day and score me some points for fighting. She could cry. She can pass out drunk. She can mention her family back home.
Yes. I like it. Those are all good reasons. House for 2.
So my next 2 picks are really going to be more about how I feel about the remaining men than how I feel about these women. But I do like, on the handcuff theme, putting these 2 together, literally, Tanya and Veronica.
Oh, beautiful.
Oh, well played.
Yeah. The handcuff theme in every sense of the word. I like it. What are the sex point categories again?
Hooking up, making out. Dude, we could add stuff right now. Do you want to add a?
What about? I feel like a same-sex hookup should be worth more.
That's a good point. It's on the
That
board.
would make it a lot more interesting with the guys too. We've never had an all-male. You know, I just noticed there's no gay guys.
Yeah,
in this
there's
show.
no gay guy.
Yeah.
That would really be something.
That would have been because there's always that possibility to get somebody getting roped in.
All right, I'm up here. I'm going with Danny.
Wow, good late value.
Yeah.
I guess. The only thing that comes to mind about him is he's married to Melinda.
What I don't understand about the MTV enterprise is that they continue to pick people from my beloved home state of Massachusetts that really aren't totally like anybody that I ever remember meeting or hanging out with in Massachusetts, with the exception of CT, who I'm not saying he represents all Massachusetts, but was definitely a certain type of guy that I have seen out many times. But we don't have that guy like my buddy J-Bug, like just a good-natured Boston guy with the great accent who has your back, and they've never had a guy like that. I feel like the producers have something against Boston.
Yeah.
That's kind of true.
If anybody watched the Bad Girls Club,
No.
Nor do I.
yeah, there was a young lady on that show that did the best she could to just take down any shred of good reputation Boston had left.
Oh.
She called herself Boston and mentioned that and I probably couldn't. It was like they challenged her to fit the word in Boston to every sentence that she formed. And
That's
she
really too bad. Whose pick is it? Is it mine or is it
It's yours.
Is it Jacoby's? What was your last pick, Jacoby?
Annie.
Oh, yeah. Good value.
Yeah, it's your pick.
Suddenly the board's pretty grim. Oh, man. I mean, Siobhan's going to be out in like 2 weeks. Her breast implants are going to burst.
Oh, that happened in the trailer.
Yeah.
Literally a quote from the trailer is, "I think I popped my implant."
Yeah. You don't hear that on other TV shows.
On what other show do you get that?
It's one of the many reasons why we love it. I'm going to roll the dice with Nick, just because I'd like to know more about him.
No one does.
And, well, I think Casey might have a hookup breakout year. I'm going to take her.
That was a good one.
Yeah, it's a good one.
That was a sneaky value.
Is this draft almost over? How many picks are there? 5, 11, 17, 23, 28. Okay, so I have one more pick.
Is that true?
Yeah. Somebody's not going to get picked.
No, you just picked Nick and Casey, buddy.
Yeah, so I've made 8 picks, right?
1,
I have
2,
9
3,
picks.
4, 5, 6, 7.
7
And,
picks. Oh, yeah, you're right.
Mr. House and I have 6.
Right. Okay, so I have 3 more picks. Go ahead.
House, did he just try to cheat?
Yes.
No, I didn't try to cheat.
He tried to cheat.
I wrote one of House's picks under my name.
You tried to cheat.
I didn't
So
try
that's
to
the reason why. That's another reason why you should have another pick.
I have 2 more picks left. Go ahead, you're up.
All right. I'm going with Brad.
I took him already.
Yes, you did.
I have Evelyn, Daryl, Bananas, Johanna, Brad, Nick, and
Look,
Casey.
if you can try to cheat, then I'm going to try to cheat, too. Tonya's on the board, right?
I have some bad news. The carbon monoxide has finally filled the studio. Joe Mead is dead. This podcast.
Not bad news for him, though.
It's not bad news, but he feels like it was the right thing to do, and it was the only way to escape the private hell that he's in right now.
Joe Mead, you killed it.
I'm going with God damn.
I looked at her, but I just didn't want her on my team. And I'll be honest, Jacoby, she doesn't help your team chemistry theme that you've been going with so strong.
I didn't want to mention it, but
Yeah.
It just shows how astute you are about my team chemistry that you pointed that out.
House for two. House has got kind of had the hookup thing going. I mean, you could basically bury the hookup group here with a couple more picks.
Yeah, I mean, there's a chance that any member of House's group will hook up with each other, if not all at the same time.
Yeah. That should be a bonus point. If two of your teammates hook up with each other, you should get like a little extra.
Sure.
I like that.
Yeah, you like it because you have all the sluts. Team slut.
I don't like a lot of what I'm seeing here, but there is kind of a handcuff thing I could do here. I'm gonna give the old Brianna Adam combo a run.
Oh,
interesting.
And see.
Yeah, I could see them getting together.
And they're a little bit, they both have personalities that are a little unpredictable.
Yeah, wild cards.
Yeah, wild cards.
Brianna,
I like that.
Brianna was a stripper.
Yeah.
That's right. And a singer.
Well.
And Adam's a rapper.
Yeah,
maybe they could have a duet. I don't know how many points that is, but.
And that's a very good segue. I think one of the underrated great things about the Real Road franchise is I can't think of another vehicle where people who thought they could sing but really weren't that good went on and really threw themselves into it, but it was really hysterically funny, only they had no idea. Like an American Idol, you get cut down right away. And a show like The Real World, like Brianna, sang, and probably the show ended and finished filming, and she's like, that was my big break.
Yeah.
Things are going to happen for me now. And then the
how
show
many
came
Real
on,
Worlds
everybody
have
just
you
mocked
seen,
her.
like a producer session? Like, how many times have you seen one of the Real World castmates, in the booth, recording a song? I think Sir Mix-a-Lot was one of the producers.
Well, of course. I mean, the incentives are all there. It's free TV time.
Yeah.
And nobody seems to realize who's on these reality shows that anybody who's either auditioning them or bringing them in for a job interview just wants to be in the show.
Right.
Yeah, come on in. I'd love to help you out.
Yeah, Pete Wentz.
Yeah,
last year.
Pete Wentz.
Like, oh yeah, Chet, you're really good at this hosting thing. Maybe you should get down with my group.
And Chet's like, what a great guy Pete Wentz is, that he took the time out of his busy schedule to help somebody like me and got nothing out of it. Actually, he did get something out of it. Now everybody knows he has a production company.
I'm not picking Chet, by the way.
All right, Jacoby, you're up.
I'm up?
Yeah.
All right, I'm, oh, gosh. Ooh.
Not a lot left.
Kimberly Alexander.
Ah. That was going to be my last pick.
She's on my short list.
That's too bad.
And it's mainly because it's a short list.
I'm going to take Siobhan for the hookup. I just want those hookup points. Because that girl... House is making obscene gestures. Thank God we don't have a webcam in here.
I'm showing him the hookup. I'm acting out the hookup.
Yeah, something good will happen with her. I don't think she can go more than 6 hours with at least going after a cameraman or something. That counts, right? Does that count? If they hook up with a cameraman, they at least hint at it. I get the points, right? Yeah, anybody's fair game. I wouldn't rule out anybody who lives in Thailand either with her. And then my last pick, you took. I guess I'll go with Cyrus. Why not? He's still sitting there.
He's a vet. He's like a player coach. It's like Pete Rose.
Yeah. The only thing is, I know he never hooks up on these shows, unfortunately. But
well, he's 50 years old.
You know what? Well, that's too late. I already took him. All right, God. Last pick, House.
No,
Jacoby.
Yes, Jacoby.
Yeah. I'm going with Tonya's taken, right?
Oh yeah, she's part of my handcuff.
Why are you calling her Tonya?
I'm
gonna call your bluff on that, Jacoby. I think her name's Tanya.
All right, Tanya's spelled differently, but whatever.
Oh, gee, that never happens. If some idiot celebrity spells her name wrong. What a rare thing.
Yeah, it was spelled differently too.
There's a Bears cornerback pronounces his name Danielle and it spells it Daniel. That's my favorite dumb one ever.
I'm taking Susie.
That's a strong pick. Yeah, I should have taken her.
So now I'm stuck.
I should have taken her. You have two choices left, right? You have Chet
and Sarah.
See,
those are two bad ones.
You know, the problem, that's the lost season for me. I watched half of one episode of that season, and that was it. Could not get into it.
You know, the other bad thing about Chet and Sarah is that neither of those two are hooking up.
Yeah.
Chet might get in a fight, though. You got numerous near altercations.
If you're on the receiving end of a punch, that counts as being in a fight?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
For sure.
Chet, with those glasses in this picture, you're my guy. I hope it comes in the first show and in the first 10 minutes.
Hey, Joe Mead?
Yeah.
You're alive.
He's alive.
Yeah, this is great. We're going to give you, we have a leftover player. We're going to give you Sarah. If she wins, you win the contest.
All right.
Yeah.
Go
Very
Sarah.
excited. She's a tattooed hairstylist. She'll be great.
With
an acerbic wit.
What show was she on?
She was in The Real World Brooklyn.
Okay.
Yeah, not picked. Last kid in the kickball session who wasn't picked. So there you go. So here's my team. Evelyn, Daryl, Johnny Bananas, Johanna, Brad, Nick, Casey, Siobhan and her breast implants, and Cyrus.
Jacoby, you may only leave with one breast implant, though.
Do I get points for that?
Sure.
Well, it's too bad we didn't have the preview because we should put this in for next year. If an implant bursts, that's points. Mm-hmm. That's a nice way to get points. Don't you think?
For sure.
Seems unlikely to happen twice, but...
Well, if it's a show where you have all these people competing and half of them have breast implants, not really as unlikely as you think.
That's your good point.
It's not like in the Olympics when people are doing gymnastics or figure skating like they have breast implants.
There are a lot of eligible candidates on here.
Jacoby, what's your team?
My team I've got Wes, great pick, Kellyanne, keep him calm, Derek, Kahuta, Katie, Danny, Diem, Kim, and reluctantly picked Susie.
Do you have House's team? Because we didn't write House's team down.
Yeah, man. House has got Evan, Kenny, Dunbar. It's a solid starting three.
It's a nice three.
Yeah, you fall off a cliff here, though. Ibis, Tonya or Tanya, depends who you ask her if you want to be right or wrong. Veronica, Brianna, Adam, and Chet.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
Now, how would you rate the premiere of this show versus the premiere of all the other television shows this year on any network? HBO, the real networks, 30 for 30, everything.
The trouble is my thing with MTV is they might as not tell us when they're going to debut the show because they re-air it incessantly.
Yeah, good point. Because it's on 40 times a day.
If you miss one, it's no big deal. It's going to be on at 2 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 9 o'clock, and 11 and 12 the next day.
Do you wish that the show was longer? Could it be on twice a week? Or would that be too much? Overkill?
I'd like to draw it out.
Overkill?
Gives me something to look forward to.
Are there any other reality shows you're watching, Czar?
Yeah. I finished some Big Brother. I'm looking forward to Survivor. I think that debuted last week. I missed it, so I got to catch up there. The Ultimate Fighter, due to a recommendation from my friend Mr. Simmons.
Yes.
Kimbo's fighting next week.
Yeah, I watched the first two. I guess the inherent problem with Ultimate Fighter is that there are no women to be seen at all for an hour.
Yeah, there's the ring girl, and they don't even show her very much.
Yeah, they have to do the gratuitous pan toward her butt just to give make people feel like they're not in a male prison.
Here's the thing. This is what I wondered as I watched that scene. What's going through the ring girl's head? She's with, 24, 25, 260-pound trained killers that haven't seen a female in weeks. Yeah. And they're putting her in a bikini, and they're like, all right, just go walk out here.
Shit, that's why she was walking quickly.
Yeah.
She's trying to get out. She's holding mace, too.
Great.
Yeah. I had a nice UFC run. Was it last week? Yeah, last Wednesday. I was sick. My daughter made me sick because that's what kids do. Every 4 weeks, they make you sick. So randomly, Spike was showing UFC's greatest 100 fights. and it was on for like 6 hours, and I watched all 6 hours. I'm not kidding. I was doing nothing other than watching UFC fights, and I'm actually into it now, I think that was finally that pushed me over the top. So then I watched Ultimate Fighter. I watched it last week. I'm probably going to get UFC 104. I'm sucked in. I've had it with boxing. The $60 pay-per-views with the terrible decisions or the one-sided fights where it's one fight and it's not even good, like Mayweather Marquez last week, Marquez. It's a bad product, you know?
I wouldn't say bad, but it's 1 out of every 5 big fights is worth your while.
I would even say less. I think there's 2 fights a year that are worth your while, and then there might be like 2 or 3 on Showtime or HBO that are worth it. And then other than that, you're talking about tens of hours to watch maybe 4 good fights a year. I just don't think it's worth it. And they don't care. It's not regulated. They make no effort of having multiple fights per card. I mean, I'm one of the biggest boxing fans ever, but UFC, I'm getting 6 fights, and all of them might be good in the same card. House is nodding. I don't know if that means if he's hungry or if he's nodding, agreeing with me. I'm not
hungry yet. No, I'm agreeing. That's exactly right. They immediately filled that that
testosterone
gaping
fan,
and it's been a gaping hole for years now with boxing. The boxing is so stumbling over its own 2 left feet that that there was a obvious hole to fill there. They killed it.
It also they've been nice.
They killed it.
I also think that they are now getting people that normally would have gravitated toward boxing.
Yeah.
They're now pulling people into their sport that maybe 20 years ago would have been fighting.
I'm in on the UFC, but I'm not out on boxing. I will get together with my Filipino friends and watch Pacquiao fight.
Oh, I'm with Pacquiao.
Pacquiao's awesome.
But I'm not going to pay $60 to see Roy Jones's next comeback, and I'm not going to pay $60 to see Mayweather beat the hell out of Marquez, which I knew was going to happen.
But you'll pay to see him fight Sugar Shane.
Yeah.
You'll pay to see the Kellerman interview afterwards.
Yeah, I'd pay to see the Kellerman interview afterwards, that's for sure.
I mean, the big thing for me is with the sort of death of the heavyweight division, I'm not really interested in boxing. That's me. I mean, I'm more of a casual boxing guy. I love the middleweights and welterweights too.
It's happened in 3 sports. It happened in boxing, it happened in women's golf, and it happened to some degree in women's tennis, where one nation has basically overrun the entire sport. Like the Russia and all the surrounding countries has basically destroyed heavyweight boxing. Nobody knows who any of these guys are. They get the names confused. There's not one guy that really stands out. You kind of know the Klitschko brothers, but they're never going to fight each other.
But if the Klitschko brothers were standing in front of you, you said which one's which, you'd have no idea.
You'd have no
That's
idea.
True.
But really, the only fight that's out there is if they fought each other, but they never will. It'd be the same reason why House and I would never fight over Subway Sub. Now, House, you don't listen to the podcast I did with Sal, but when we pick the lines...
I listened to all of them. What are you talking about?
Well, this year when we pick the lines...
I know what the prize is.
The loser gets to beat the
I think that I should help...
Loser.
I'm going to help whoever wins. I'm going to help design the sub. I have a point of view on the matter.
Wait, do you think meatball tuna, you don't like that idea?
Oh, I think it's a great one. But there's some other things that could go in there.
Like what?
I'm going to keep that in reserve.
Oh, okay.
I'm not going to drop that out right now.
Because I saw on ESPN on Monday night, they had, so they all picked the games, and they had the Snickers Championship, which is pretty smart. That's a nice little, what do they call it? What do they call it when they add integration?
Yeah.
Nice add integration.
Yeah, right.
I don't think anything tops either me or Sal beating the hell out of the other person with a meatball, tuna, filled with stuff, 12-inch Subway sub, and then we put it on YouTube. Subway has to be happy with that.
Yeah.
They got to be happy.
Yeah. All right. Well, you guys aren't excited enough, in my opinion.
I think they should. I'm very excited about it. I think you should get 1 for each hand. That's just me.
2?
Yeah.
Is Jared going to come officiate?
So you have to go lefty-righty?
Oh, I like that. I like 2.
So you can throw combo punches.
Well, see, if I had 2, then the other one I think would be some sort of oven baked deal. It would be a little harder. Because we never said like you couldn't make a well done, like a roast beef and cheese well done. That'd be hard. It would hurt. Or maybe with the au jus sauce, and like soak it in there and get like all like sloppy and hard. Could be pretty good. I'm excited for it. And I'm also excited for the duel on September 29th.
That's going to be
September 30th, but whatever.
September 30th. Czar, are we going to do, what do you think, every 2 weeks during the season?
we'll see how it plays out. Sometimes there's plenty of stuff to talk about, and sometimes kind of like, eh.
We'll just do some scoring updates along the way.
Yeah, we'll do some scoring updates.
All right, Czar. Thanks for joining us. Dave
you,
Jacoby, ESPN Zone. Talk to you in a couple weeks.
All right.
Thanks, buddy.
See you, buddy.
All right, House. So that was Dave Jacoby.
I think that it's a brilliant concept, the fantasy draft. The time has come.
House, since you're here, let's use the airtime to get you some golf dates. So House is an avid golfer.
Avid.
Likes playing golf courses he hasn't played before.
Addicted.
If you want to play golf with Joe House at a nice golf course, just ask him.
He will say yes. He will say yes.
He's available. He'll drink as he plays.
A little bit.
He'll socialize.
Socialize for sure.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
would you really play with a complete stranger?
You know what? Actually, I do play with complete strangers.
Because you go out, you jump on the course?
Yeah. Like on vacations and stuff, sometimes I'll try and sneak away, get around in somewhere.
I used to do that when I played before I retired at age 24. I used to jump on and play with people. My problem is that I used to throw clubs. People didn't like that, especially complete strangers.
Well, hopefully by now you're kind of grown out of that a little bit.
People thought I had Tourette's or something. Like they was swearing, I'm throwing things. They're like, wow, something's wrong with that guy.
I can see that.
Last thing to discuss. Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Oh, dear.
Episode 1 was Sunday. We will not have seen episode 2 by the time we get here. But where does Bam Bam Funkerhouse, what was Funkenhouse? Funkhauser? Bam Bam Funkhauser. Where does that rate on your all-time Curb Your Enthusiasm character pantheon?
I mean, it's immediately in the top 10. I have to run through. I mean,
Crazy Eye Killer is still number 1, right?
Crazy Eye Killer is number 1, bar none.
Yeah.
JB Smoove is not,
JB Smoove's up there.
He's up there.
Yeah.
He's in the mix for sure.
Yeah, I don't feel like they tap JB Smoove enough.
I really enjoyed. This is one that's going to surprise you. I really enjoyed the Hasidic dry cleaning woman.
Oh, she was great.
She did it for me.
Yeah, she was attractive.
Yeah, I mean, there have been characters over the years, but immediately, Bam Bam
Funkhauser,
right up to the
come up that boy. Now. Has old Seinfeld basically been ruined for you because it's so clear now that Larry David was George Costanza and Jason Alexander did an impersonation of Larry David basically for 8 years?
No. I mean, I can see those shows in their context and keep it separate from how I'm enjoying Larry David.
If Larry David had been George Costanza, is it a better show or a worse show?
I'm going to say worse. And the reason
You're almost overpowering, maybe.
Well, and he would have looked physically different than the other characters. Like there's something about those characters. They kind of look like they're generally about the same age. I don't know how old Larry David is, and I certainly do not want to offend the man. But those characters, it made sense that they were friends.
Yes,
there was a sort of obvious social circle vibe there.
Hey, for some reason that George Costanza slipped for me. He used to be probably, arguably, like top 3 favorite characters for me ever of all time on television. And now that slipped, and it's really because of all the stuff Jason Alexander's done over the last 9 years in his career.
So and that coupled with going behind the curtain a little bit with Larry David and seeing him the past 7 years.
Now, for some reason, Costanza I don't enjoy as much, whereas once upon a time he just murdered me, slayed me, constantly. I loved everything he did, and he always made me laugh, and they just loved him.
Yeah, I understand where you're coming from. They show the shows in Washington at 7:30 at night, and if I get home in time to watch, I sit down and watch Seinfeld. And I still enjoy it as much as
I always look at the year. If it's like before 94, I'm in. If it's after 94, I'm out.
I watched the Lobster Trap one last week. The one where...
Oh, is that the shrinkage one?
Yes, shrinkage. Yeah, great one.
That's a good one. Who was the hot girlfriend on that one?
Gertz.
Oh, yeah.
Jamie Gertz, is that her name?
Yeah. Jamie Gertz.
Yeah.
She made an appearance on Entourage as the wife of the agent.
That's right. Not as good as...
Yeah, not as good.
Not as good.
I wouldn't put that at the top of the resume. All right, Joe House.
Hey.
It was fun to have you in the house.
I was happy to be here.
On the Subway Fresh Take Hotline, I look forward to competing with you in the duel. and also seeing what you're capable of at the Italian Feast tonight.
Oh, me too.
Should be fantastic. Oh, last thing, Redskins. Actually, no, people will hear this by the time they've played the Lions. But you're out on the Redskins in general.
Yeah, I think there's a good chance they're going to lose to the Lions. So
yeah, Dana Snyder, haven't turned on him yet. I asked you this: why? Oh,
wow!
Joe Mead.
Joe Mead's in the house.
Why haven't you turned on Dana Snyder the way you turned on Angelos?
The big reason is because the Redskins are in my blood away. The Orioles never were.
Okay.
I mean,
Say no more. That's fair. Joe Mead.
Yeah.
Bills?
Well, since this is airing after they beat the Saints.
You're saying they beat the Saints?
Whoa.
Wow.
They could. They got Fred Jackson. Anything's possible.
There's a school of thought that the Bills might be good. Because they really should have won the Patriots game, and then they handily beat the Bucs.
Yeah. Well, they got a bad quarterback, so they could tank, but...
Are you saying Trent Edwards is bad?
He's bad.
Huh.
I watch him every game. The only people on TV that are saying he's good have never seen him play.
Yeah, I'm lukewarm on him, personally.
Joe, what are the Bills going to do when Marshawn Lynch comes back?
Well, I mean, like last year, they kind of had a two-headed attack with both those guys. I really like Marshawn, in short yardage. So I wish they would still keep giving the ball to Fred and just put in Marshawn for, goal line situations and, 3rd and 1s. But they're going to go with Marshawn. I mean, he's great. So
yeah. Well, so is Fred. He's kind of a beast.
Yeah, and Fred's good catching the ball out of the backfield. So
I got to say, if I were the Bills, I would move one of those two guys. Aren't there teams that need a running back right now?
A lot of teams.
I can tell you the Patriots do. We're all of a sudden counting on Fred Taylor as our number one guy. But there's a lot of teams that need running backs. Both of those guys are better than half the starting running backs in the league.
I guess I can't imagine Fred Jackson's making very much money. And if you have a backup like that, you can't risk it.
Well, I wish either of them were on the Patriots. All right, Joe Mead, thanks for coming in late notice for the Dual Podcast.
Good to be here.
That's it for the BS Report, and we will talk to you later in the week.
So I get % off. Whoa!
Thank you for downloading the BS Report with Bill Simmons.
Too much fun.
Check out more podcasts at the iTunes Music Store or at Podcenter at ESPNRadio.com.
Peace out.
Listen to this podcast and dozens more with the ESPN Radio iPhone app.